How much do you know about how to resolve neighbour dispute in Singapore? Over in a Hougang HDB flat, a man has allegedly made lots of sudden banging noise for over 10 years, and the noise will occur at even 1 AM. It got so bad that there's a TikTok account documenting what the man did, with numerous articles reporting on him. Now, there's nothing much the neighbours can do even after they've gone to court. And here's the thing, there might be a new law that will change everything. Watch on, cause this will affect you and how it will change how we resolve neighbour dispute in Singapore. So, before anything, you need to know this. Conflicts, unless it escalated to very serious matters like assault or public nuisance, are usually civil cases. And the police have no powers over civil cases unless they affect public order and safety. You see, imagine you quarreling with your wife about what to eat at Jurong Point. Then if you get too angry, do you call the police to arrest your wife? I mean, of course I know you won't work because I've tried that before. But you get the idea. To resolve conflicts, you either resolve them yourself, or if that's impossible, you go to the court and let the court decide who's right and who's wrong. When you let the court decide between you and the person you have quarreled with, that is a civil case. Yeah, so now you know this, here's the thing. Conflicts between neighbours, if it's about things like noise, smoke or heck, even about pets, are considered civil cases. While the authorities can help to talk to the other party, they cannot just, arrest your neighbour, kick your neighbour out, or just fine them. This is a misconception that many of us have. Instead, technically speaking, you need to resolve it yourself by talking to the neighbour or bringing your neighbour to court. There's a special court for that. Watch on and you will understand. So, what are the steps we need to resolve the problem? Firstly, of course, is to talk to the neighbour nicely. Over in the viral Hougang case, it didn't work because the neighbour appears to be aggressive and emotions were involved. When that failed, both you and the neighbour should go for mediation at the Community Mediation Centre. Now, just so that I won't confuse lawyers or people who have been in civil cases before, this mediation is not ordered by a court, but just a separate mediation before any legal proceedings. If you don't understand the previous sentence, then just ignore what I say. Yeah, so basically, let's say that you complain to a town council, then they can advise the both of you to mediation. What is mediation? It's basically everyone sit down and discuss solution with a third party who's impartial. So this third party's goal isn't to determine who's right or wrong, but to let the both of you find a win-win solutions calmly. The reason why you cannot do this yourself is that the moment you see your neighbour, you feel like kicking his. Almost 80% of the cases reach a settlement during mediation, but here's a problem. Almost 70% of people who registered for mediation did not go for the actual session, because it's not compulsory one. Yeah, so what if it still doesn't work out? This is the case for the Hougang neighbour, as after mediation and coming out with solutions, the neighbour continued to bang. The next stage is to go to court. Before 2015, you have to file a civil lawsuit against your neighbour, and yes, it's costly, you won't know if you win, and the only winners are the lawyers. And we are talking about a novel civil lawsuit, kind of like similar to lawsuits, like how a business sue another business for $1 million one. Yeah, scary, right? But since 2014, a community dispute management framework was introduced to help with neighbour dispute. Basically, there's now a smaller and specialised court made for this, which is called the Community Disputes Resolution Tribunals, or CDRT for short, which is established in 2015. Just think of the entire state's court as a hotline for Singtel. So you can call the hotline to do anything, from technical problems to checking your bills. The CDRT is a unique hotline for Singtel just to check your bills. Therefore, it's faster and easier and much cheaper because you can DIY everything without a lawyer. In fact, everything can be done online by yourself, although hearings are still physical or on Zoom. But you'll still be as formal as a civil lawsuit. With all the same things, a judge will be assigned to you, court orders will be given, etc. The only difference is that it's faster and very DIY. Yeah, so this is usually the last resort because essentially you're suing your neighbour and bringing him to court, albeit a smaller and specialised one. If the neighbour lost the case, the judge can issue an order, which the neighbour either have to follow. If not, there is a contempt of court, which means it's now a criminal offence. Now, for the Hougang neighbour case, it's reported that a resident actually reached this stage, but dropped the case halfway through legal proceedings due to allegedly insufficient evidence. So, on 12 August 2024, it's announced that there will be a new government unit that can help in some aspects. For example, they can help with investigations, like gathering evidence, so it will be useful in CDRT. This is for severe cases, where neighbours are unhelpful and too pattern, or when it's hard to gather evidence. They can put sensors in the claimant's house, which can detect sounds coming from where and therefore have good evidence. Now, if you think about it, this would be very useful for the Hougang case, since the case was dropped due to allegedly insufficient evidence. Also, mediated settlement agreements can be like a court order, which will help in the Hougang case, since they went for mediation, but after solutions were proposed, they didn't follow through. And also, for super serious cases, flats can be taken back by HDB. The unit also have enforcement powers, which will be supported by police officers. Yeah, so if you are a resident who thinks the entire earth spins for you and the world is all about you, I hope you watch this. I've provided a link to the announcement on the description, only on YouTube, so please go to my YouTube channel instead. But this won't start immediately. Parliament still need to debate about this, and even after it has been passed as a law, it will be piloted in 1 to 2 towns first. One in Tampines, and the other isn't reviewed yet. Although I think people in Hougang block are now raising their hand to volunteer for it. Now, everything mentioned here isn't just for noise, but for other conflicts and nuisance as well, like neighbours smoking at the window. That, by the way, isn't illegal. Watch this and you will understand. And thank you for spending almost 5 minutes with me. I really appreciate it.